Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Dawn. Start again.
Okay. Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Dawn.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yay.
Is it really 2025?
Almost. Just a couple more days.
I feel, oh my God.
I know.
When's this ever going to end? Well, happy New Year's almost. Happy 2025.
Yes. Happy almost 2025 to everybody.
Do we have a good year? How was
I mean,
2024?
We survived. We
started
made it
a
to the end.
podcast, and we started a podcast.
That's true.
The number one podcast for moms of Jacob and Dawn. So that's big. We saw Spotify Wrapped. So that's pretty big.
Our Spotify Wrap says we are the top podcast for 3 of our fans.
3 of you. It's our number one
so
podcast.
There's a chance it's Jacob's mom, my dad, and Crystal.
Yeah. Considering our average age was 98 years old, I think.
No, but we are very thankful for all of you.
Absolutely.
Who are listening and enjoying.
We got lots of feedback.
Yes.
Of things we can do for next year, which I think we'll talk about in this episode.
Yeah. And actually, please do send us messages. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. And then Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. So you can comment on any of those or send us a message.
This is the first I'm finding about all of this. I didn't even know this went out.
Jacob's like, what? We're on Spotify?
Yeah.
Yeah. So send us a message if you have any ideas or like things you'd like us to talk about, because we would love to do more of what you guys would like to hear.
I had a Christmas photographer party for a future guest. And some of the people there that I actually don't see that often, I just see them when we shoot on the cruises. And they were like, oh my God, we listen to your podcast every week. And I was like, what? Who are you? And they gave us some pretty good feedback.
One of the 12 listeners?
And things they liked. So that's definitely a good start.
Cool.
So they liked a lot of Jacob, not so much Dawn or Jacob.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's what they said in this very non-skewed source of information.
They also liked a lot of American Tail. So call back.
Then there was the den with the TV, and we would lay on the floor and watch Fievel.
Okay, it's not called Fievel. It's called An American Tail.
Okay. I'm beginning to think Jacob just does callbacks because I have to do more work in editing.
Yeah, everything I can add.
So, since it's the end of the year, start of the new year, we've gotten some feedback on things. We wanted to talk about our photography resolutions going into 2025.
Yes.
So, neither one of us are like super excited for the concept of a resolution.
Yeah,
I don't really ever do them. But we can talk about things we want to work on and like changes we might want to make moving forward in 2025 for our business. And later on, we'll talk about our personal lives.
Sure. I feel they're going to be more general too, just to be more like, you don't need to know the dollars and cents.
Right.
You don't need to know that I want to make $28 next year as opposed to the $20 I made this year. Right. That's for me. No, don't worry about that.
Right. We do acknowledge that in order to achieve any of this, you actually have to have like specific goals. We won't go into the details today, but just like topically.
Because that bores the hell out of me.
Just like topically, things we want to work on moving forward.
Do you do a vision board?
I did one time.
Can I see it?
You probably could, because I think it's folded and tucked behind that bookshelf in the corner.
Is it just on that picture of you with the horse or Cinderella with the horse? That's your vision board. I just want to do this again. Call back.
It's not too big. I think it'll fit.
This is ridiculous.
Oh God.
I hate your guts.
You're gonna knock stuff over.
Can you hold this with me?
God.
No, I'm not gonna hold it for you.
Hi, Stephanie's no longer here.
It is not. It is on a little poster board with cutouts from magazines. I don't know where I did a workshop, like a business workshop about it. And I don't know where she found that many magazines for us to cut stuff out of.
That sounds like a serial killer stuff.
Yeah. Yes. So I've only done one vision board.
I mean, you could just write it. You don't have to
I know, but I don't.
All right.
Have you done one?
No. I'm a grown adult, so I do not. Maybe I will, though. I do write stuff down, though. I like to write and just see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make $1 million. Haven't done it yet.
Collectively, have you done it yet?
When I hit 450 years old, yeah, I'll finally get it.
Okay, so what's something in your business that you want to put a little extra effort into in 2025?
I definitely think, and this is going to be general, I'm sure you agree that, like, I felt like in 2024, the busy season was busier than normal, and the off season was slower than normal. So I would definitely like to have some sort of balance to that, where like, oh, I wonder how I'm going to survive, or going in earlier in the year realizing, maybe I should squirrel away some more nuts.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize the barrenness of August was going to be a hellscape, which it always is. Like, I'm used to that. And you can obviously, with all of our software, we see where the money's coming in and when it's coming in and what jobs. But like, it'd be nice to be able to balance that a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I want to put some effort in during the slow season. So like every year, it's like a cycle. During slow season, I'm like gung-ho on marketing, trying to get people, but I'm doing it in a time frame where like they're coming in along with busy season.
Correct.
So it's not helping fill the slow season. And then it's making like the springtime be super busy, which means I don't have time to do marketing, which means summer is so dead because I've done no marketing while I've been busy for spring. And then you get into, the cycle repeats. So wanting to be a little more intentional in what I do in these first couple months of the year, to either plan like big headshot days, or maybe I try like themed mini sessions for brand owners or even for families, like, but plot them in those slower times of year to generate more income, so that when it comes to busy season, I don't have to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Because right now, like, we say yes to everything we are physically available for.
And even then, sometimes just hoping like,
and then sometimes I'm like, well, I'm not technically, but I could find someone.
Yeah.
But then that doubles up how much editing I'm doing, because I'm editing the job I'm shooting plus the job that other person's shooting for my company. So like, if I can get slower season up, then busy season doesn't have to be so busy, because I can comfortably say no, because I know I'm hitting my financial goals for the year.
Absolutely. And it's like I said, it always takes, the problem is it's a year-long thing, because you have to start now. And I always find too that like, okay, busy season happens, it slows down, but then the first part of the slow part, I'm catching up from busy season.
Yes.
So I'm not focused on that. I am editing the 900 weddings and everything. And by that time, then I'm like, okay, I'm taking a break when I probably need to focus on getting ready for the next slow season.
Right. Yeah. Like January is kind of like, oh, I can breathe again. Like I can shoot 1 or 2 jobs a week, stay caught up on editing, do some, social media marketing, but like not hustle. But I think you're right. I think that's when we need to hustle.
It's a never ending.
Yeah. But if we hustle then October, we can see our families occasionally.
Well, probably still not.
Or if we still take on all of busy season, we have lots of extra monies.
This is true. ABC, always be closing.
Yeah.
Always be shooting. I think too that it's just a, it's a tough balancing act, because I get into a cycle too where if it's slow again, I start saying yes to everything now when it's only going to make my life busier. It's still not making up for that slow time.
Yeah.
I'm just piling it all on the same month. So, and mentally then that kills me for that month. And then I get kind of down in the dumps about, I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this anymore. It's not, I don't want to not do this, but it's one of those things after
you get burnt out.
Yeah. After your 11th wedding in 8 days, like,
yeah.
Well, not just wedding, but event.
Right.
You're just done.
Yeah. It's hard when I feel like we're coming at this, like you can tell we're at the end of our busy season, because we're like, we're just toasted. We have no.
I'm old. My foot hurts. I work with children.
But, yeah, I mean, you can tell we're tired. We're a little burnt out. We need time to recover. But there's another way. This is the way. We can come through this.
Well, I think that's a good resolution.
Yeah.
But we actually have to, let's put it on our vision board.
Yes. That can be our vision board.
It is. One of my resolutions this year is to start a podcast. A good one.
Just kidding. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's going to be about photography.
Uh-huh.
And kind of cool behind the scenes and tips and tricks.
Fun.
So look for that.
That's a good idea. I love that.
Okay.
So my other big resolution is kind of tied to the podcast. So like over the years, I have dabbled in video here and there, but a big thing that held me back was like the editing process of video. So I didn't ever invest like too much time into offering that in my business and like growing in that because like video editing seemed so scary. However, when we started this podcast, we kind of just like dove right in. And I am not a good video editor yet, but I at least am not scared when I open Premiere Pro. I now know what all the different panels mean and what it all does. And so now I would like in 2025 to really improve on my video skills in general so that can be something I offer alongside.
Absolutely.
For my clients alongside photography.
I'll be your videographer.
Okay.
Yeah. Lucky for you, though, when it comes to editing, I am just a content machine. So there's not much you have to do. I just deliver.
It totally makes everything like a piece of cake and it just breezes by.
Yep.
No time required.
And here's a photo from our wedding at Magic Kingdom, as you can see right there. She'll put that up right there for you.
I'm going to call Crystal and ask her to send me like the most embarrassing pictures she has of you, and I'm going to put those up.
You have all the most embarrassing photos of me, and I don't care.
So improving my videography skills so that can be something I offer alongside photography. And then, continuing to improve video editing skills. Because it's one thing to like edit still cameras like on tripods.
That's true.
Versus like if I'm moving on the job, if I'm working with a company. And
like on
cool editing,
music.
Yeah.
A lot of star wipe cuts. I've heard that's pretty popular.
Spirals. Yeah. Really trendy.
And then, God forbid, like real audio, like on the job audio. Oof. That's rough.
Yeah. I would like to learn more like audio too, like multiple microphones and leveling. And I don't know any of that.
Well, that is going to go a little bit into our podcast resolutions. And I know one of them is to upgrade our equipment.
A little bit. Do you know how many microphones are getting sent to me? Like Amazon was like, we found a deal just for you. And it's all podcast
microphones.
Yeah. I mean, I think like we have some like quality things we can improve, but we have some other ideas too.
Absolutely. I think we've had talked about some feedback and things, but all pretty positive. But I definitely think we want to do more. Like we love the photography secrets series. But that's going to be a series that we do more, like more kind of things we've picked up along the years that make our jobs easier. Tips, tricks. I want to talk about probably more behind the scenes. We've actually started taking more behind the scenes at our weddings. So that will probably be more of a, it's hard to do for us because I don't know about you, but I get so focused on the couple that I can't do it. I need literally someone to do it.
We need to, well, we had a bad situation too because we had 2 jobs recently that we worked on together, which we don't always work together.
Correct.
But 2 in a row that we worked together and both of them had removed like the photo release or the model release part from their contracts, which again, we both are fine with, like we understand the reasoning for both. But then that meant we couldn't really get any behind the scenes video. We got a little bit from Kennedy Space Center.
I think it's Kansas City Space Center.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Callback.
There's another quirky venue though that does let the couple do some more stuff.
And we're going to talk about that later. Kansas City Space Center. Kansas City. Kennedy Space Center.
But that was a bummer. But moving forward, we do want to do more of that. And then we might even try some where like it's additional videos alongside the regular podcast episodes that are specifically crafted as videos to teach a particular skill, or like we're out in the field doing something and you get to see it like in motion, what the lights are set to, what the ambient lighting looks like whatever the case may be.
We got lots of good feedback on our fireworks podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They really liked that we went kind of in depth of how we actually shot it and how there were different ways. Because a lot of people, like, if you've always shot something a certain way and you see someone else doing it, you're like, oh, I never thought of it like that.
Or the validation of like, oh, I am doing it like other people do it.
But if we actually went into greater detail, like you just said, of like actually showing it, showing the settings, showing the outcome.
Yeah.
I think that would be big.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm like so excited for slow season because I feel like slow season might be some extra podcast season.
It's just going to be more podcasts and still not helping our slow season at all. Like, we did all this podcast stuff. Did we get paid? Nope.
Did we get any jobs from it?
Nope. Did we have fun?
We had lots of fun.
Good. This is our fun zone. Don't take away our fun zone.
I have dedicated a corner of my house to the fun zone.
And obviously, too, all of our series, we're going to be doing definitely more favorite photo, favorite photos.
How we got the shot.
Funny stories, both photography and non-photography related. I know some of our non-photography stories have been big hits, crazy Disney stories that weren't photography related. So prepare for more. Be prepared, Disney, for more of those. Yeah. Scar.
And we're continuing to have more guests. Yeah. So next week we'll have a guest.
We got lots of positive about guests, and we like that too.
Yeah, for sure. We get tired of looking at each other.
It's only so much Dawn I can take.
It's only taking like 6 episodes to not be weird to like look at each other.
It was easier when we were not looking at each other. The trick is I just focus on the behind you. I don't actually.
The plants.
And the guests, we're also going to bring in, we have plans for not just other photographers, but couples that we have photographed. We have some on the books, or not on the books, but want to do it. So we just got to find the right time.
Some other vendors.
Like
different types of vendors that we work with on weddings, events, whatever the case may be.
DJs, video.
Planners.
Elizabeth Davis. Callback. See?
Please stop making more editing work for me.
This has turned into my favorite episode of all time.
Okay. All right. Any other business related resolutions for next year?
Yeah, no. I just want to be, I think it's the old age of photography is I want to shoot less and make more. But not necessarily like in that order. Yes, that order. But it's more of the like, I can't do this forever. So it would be nice to, have to think of an end game in 50 years from now when I do retire. And by retire, we both know that means when we die.
Right.
Like we will die.
That's the plan.
On a wedding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that we want to work less and make more because we don't enjoy it.
Correct.
There's a point where we're working too much that it's keeping us from enjoying it. Because we do love photographing events and portraits but when you have to cram too many in,
correct,
then you don't have the same creative juices and or you force yourself into it and then like when you're not working, you're just a shell of a human.
Yeah. I always equate to what we do as a professional wrestler in terms of, no, seriously though, like they put a lot of mileage on their body, right? So they only have a limited time to do this. So it's like you got to get your money and get out. And some of them, you see, they have to do it forever. So I'm just trying to be John Cena over here and not, I don't want to be doing this when I'm 90.
No, I don't think.
I mean, I want to be photographing when I'm 90, but just.
Do you want to do 12-hour weddings?
Yeah. So.
Cool. Well, now that we've looked at the future, what did we do this week?
What did we do this week? You want me to start?
Sure.
All right. I actually had a family portrait session at Lake Louisa, which is a state park in Claremont. This is a family that I photographed their wedding, and then I photographed their, we did 2 maternity sessions.
2?
Well, because
for 2 different kids?
Yeah, 2 different kids. Pictures here.
Wait, cue future me scrambling as I edit the episode. Jacob, send me the pictures you want to put in the podcast episode.
I'll be like, I'm at Taco Bell. Give me a second. No, so 2 maternity sessions. I didn't do a newborn session, but we did a really cute in their home, like a
lifestyle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Them reading books at the crib and holding the baby on the bed. So I have done Christmas cards for them. I have photographed them so many times.
That's cool.
I love them so much. And this is the first time I met their second, because the last time we shot, she was pregnant with baby number 2. So this is the first time I've actually met baby number 2. That's actually the name. Her name is Baby 2. But anyway.
Keeping it simple.
Yeah. So we have, like I said, multiple great sessions and another just fantastic session at Lake Louisa. And Lake Louisa this time of year is great because, again, when it gets dark at noon, you can shoot early. And always has great light at the end of the, and then the wildflowers, not the wildflowers, what do they call it?
Like the grass.
That wild grass where it's like when it's backlit is pink.
Yep. Do you use the grass next to the parking lot at the end of your session, or do you go like elsewhere in the park?
It depends. Because you have to be careful too at Lake Louisa because they do a lot of prescribed burns. They do like 2 or 3 a year. So every once in a while I get there and have all these plans. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, I know. And it sucks because you have to like meet the couple or the family at the front and then like caravan all the way through like
it's
a
like
10-minute drive
through
the park. And then you could get somewhere and be like, wah, wah.
You know what I noticed? So if you go after the gate and you take the first right and then that first spot on the right is where a lot of photographers go because it is a great spot.
I drive right past
I know.
it.
They have since named it Photography Lot or Photography Corner or something.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, when I was there for this session, it literally is now called like the Photography Trail or something. I go there because I don't take them, across where everyone goes. If you go backwards, there's that giant tree there. So you're kind of facing the parking lot, but the tree also blocks, and you just turn this way, it blocks the cars, and you still get that sun coming through, and there's still grass over there. I like that. And then further down there's another couple spots with some really cool trees, and then you go all the way down to the beach if they're looking for beach stuff.
Like beach and boardwalk. I normally I skip the first area and I just go to the 2 that are close together before you get to the beach. I go to those because there's like a nice, like a white sand path that it kind of minimizes some of the color cast because at least you have white right in front of them. And it's like in between trees. And then there's there's like a funky tree.
That's the one. It almost looks like it fell down, but it's not. It's like.
Yeah, like the yeah. So I'll use that. And then a lot of times they do want to go to the beach. So I'll go all the way to the beach. But then if they want sunset or if we're there for sunset, I go back to the front parking lot and use that ones. Like tall grass area.
I've done that before too. There's another one called it's literally called like Sunset Point or something. I've actually never.
That's really close to the front too. Like, yeah.
There's always so many people there. And like I said, the photography, I did go there on this one because as I went by, there was nobody there. It was a little chilly because it's been chilly here in Florida. I know. So like, I was like, well, you know what? And it's really nice out. I'm just going to go here. Plus they had 2 kids. So I didn't want to, a baby and then so I didn't want to trape all over and I could just leave them right there. And but I do enjoy Lake Louisa.
Me too.
And what else did I shoot? Oh, I had a wedding at, a country club in Tampa, and it was a country club wedding in Tampa. It was a golf course wedding. It was very nice though, but like I'd never been there, but at the same time I had been there 1,000 times.
Yeah.
It was a golf course on a country club.
Okay.
They did have, when I got there though, and this was for I can't think of what I was doing. I was not second shooting. I was, what do you call when we shoot for freelance? Thank you. I was freelancing at the Kennedy Space Center. No, Kansas City. So I was freelancing. So I didn't have any kind of communication with the couple besides like a phone call, I'm sure at some point. And it was told I was supposed to meet at the country club. I get there and there's nobody there, of course. And they're like, oh, we're at some apartment somewhere. And I was like, okay. But like, me, I like it when it's all there. Yeah. And luckily these condos were actually part of the golf course that you could like rent out. Almost like Airbnb type condos. So they were just across a parking lot. It wasn't too big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say anything because I know if I said something, it would be turned into a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to walk a little bit. But it did make it tough for because then we had to do first looks, but she had to walk all the way over because she wasn't on the actual course. That was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was just a normal, beautiful wedding. Had a great sunset.
Nice.
Partied all night. She wore a black dress or like a blackish dress. Yeah. It was very it wasn't goth themed, but it was more like, it was a lot of your signs like Aries and Libra and
like astrology stuff.
Yeah. And it was a very cool vibe. And the reception had black actual curtains around the sides with black streamers. You know how you can do those white ones from chandelier to chandelier, but it was black. And her dress was black, but had the I got warned, so I gotta be careful. But it had the see-through tan, skin tone to it too, so it wasn't just straight black. Looked really nice.
You know us, we just like anything that's different.
Yeah.
I'll take anything different. Cool.
Yeah.
So I had to travel out of town for a funeral this week. So I missed out on a wedding at Disney. I had to have someone else cover. I was second shooting, but I had to have someone else photograph it for me. And
I think you asked me to cover something too. Or you said if I was...
No, because we were supposed to record the podcast
That's right.
that week, and we had to move it. But I did still have a wedding this week, and it was at one of our regular venues that we go to all the time, one of the Ever After Barns. And I had 2 firsts happen, which after 1,000+ weddings, it's hard to run into firsts, right? So the venue had one of those rope swings, or not rope swings. It's a wooden board with 2 ropes hanging from a tree, and it's got flowers.
Tangled flowers on it.
Right, exactly. And so I tend to not have the bride sit because I don't want them to fall. I don't want their dress to get dirty, yada, yada, 100 reasons. And so I will have the groom sit.
Yeah.
And so I was explaining to the groom, these are slippery, you can't just slam down. You can fall off the front. You got to just slowly hold on, lower yourself down. So he got himself on the swing. I
already know where it's going.
And somehow he slipped backwards and his legs came all the way up. So his hands and legs are up at alongside the ropes, and his butt is a half inch off the ground, and he's holding on. And me and the bride just looked at him how did this happen?
Yeah.
What?
Did you get a photo of it?
I didn't.
No. That's the same. Whenever something like that happens, I never get it because I'm actually too worried about
I'm too worried about helping him up.
Uh-huh.
But I've never had a sober groom fall off a swing like that.
Let me tell you something. Wedding swings are the most dangerous. I hate them so much. They're never as cute as we think they would be.
The risk
reward is...
It's not a good ratio.
I do have a good story too. I don't know if I'll tell it now. It might be for another.
Maybe next episode.
Yeah. But it does involve a swing.
My other first is that the DJ just decided to follow me for all formal portraits. And I
just
don't
you
know
and the
why.
couple?
So for the family.
Oh, what a
he
cool
was
guy.
There. He was outside under the oak tree with us while we did all the family pictures and then all the wedding party pictures. And then I thought he was hovering because he needed to ask something or whatever. I gave him plenty of time to do that. I was, changing my lenses and stuff. And he was talking to the couple and he didn't really talk to them about anything. So then I started doing just newlywed pictures. And I'm giving them instructions, and he was also giving instructions.
Don't like that.
On where their hands should be and which hand should be where. And I was just no, that's not what I wanted. No. So then as we were leaving the ceremony spot to start going around the property, heading to the swing, I was I think we're good. It's just, I'm just going to take them around. And the reason it was really bothering me too is because the couple was nervous about PDA. Not nervous, but when I would ask them to kiss for a picture, they would get all giggly. Yeah. And you don't need some random stranger you don't know.
I'm already the random stranger.
Exactly. I don't need more. And, you know, I was by myself on the wedding, so it really could have just been me. And I'm on the long lens. I'm far enough away that they eventually normally like settle because
Correct.
I will stop giving instructions and like they just calm down and like snuggle in and whatever. You know, he's like, well, what else do I have to do? And I'm like, be the DJ?
Yeah.
Like, why are you here? And he did. He followed us to the swing. He followed us to the next spot. And I was like,
Sounds like a real goofball.
okay. So, yeah.
This is where a second would come in handy because I would have just cock blocked him. Can I say that? I would have just been like, hey, actually, I think your DJ equipment got unplugged. Like, I heard that. Or I would have gone and unplugged it. And then be like, yo, I just went back there and someone said
But in truth, you would have just stayed at the ceremony site and had him like wrapped up in conversation and let me go.
Correct. I would have caught that real quick and said, absolutely not.
Yeah. So that was the first time I've ever had a DJ specifically like follow me around and try to help me, which like I didn't need help.
No.
I did not.
And if I did, I don't want it from you. No offense.
Yeah.
You should have stood behind the DJ booth with him all night. And be like, I just got
nothing
nothing to do.
else to do.
Yeah.
I can help you.
Why don't you turn that up? Actually, don't play that song. You don't need that song.
He was really nice. It was so uncomfortable for everyone involved.
Yeah.
So, but that's all. That's all I had this week.
What a cool guy. You can tell it's finally slowing down.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The fact that I only had to reschedule one job when I was out of town for 3 days.
Yeah. Last minute, too.
Last minute. Yeah. I mean, I found out on Friday and we flew out Monday. So, but yeah, we're getting there. Things are calming down.
And then we'll forget about everything we talked about on this episode. And next year, on this same year, we'll be like, New Year's resolutions.
Right.
Work less.
Replay the entire episode. Okay, so we've talked about business resolutions. What are some personal resolutions or like for your personal life?
Yeah. I think both of us on this one, but health, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting older. You're 54.
Yep.
I'm
exactly
29. Well, no, I'll be 30 this year. So,
okay.
I'm getting older at 30, so I want to make sure that my health is good.
Your gray hair is giving you away.
High diet. Silver foxes are in. So yeah, I want to make sure that I've been taking care of myself more. And that comes with, again, these long weddings.
Mm-hmm.
They do take a toll on your body. Like, it used to be I could do 2 of them back to back. Now I'm like, I need a day to recover.
Well, because it's like the risk of injury too. Like I noticed probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, like I was doing so many jobs back to back and like I could just feel my body. Like it wasn't moving the way it was supposed to. And like I would reach for something and get a weird pain. And
how's that?
I think a squirrel outside.
Your immune system like gets compromised when you shoot that much.
Mm-hmm.
You don't eat, which sounds great because you're like, oh, I'm just burning calories. But then when you do eat, it stores it like the long, cold winters that we have.
Yeah. Or when you do eat, it's things off the appetizers or like pieces of cake or desserts.
So, prioritizing health, fitness, eating better, things like that.
Yes.
I think that'll be a big resolution this year.
Yeah. Same for me.
I don't want the doctor to call me obese.
I know. I go to the doctor next week and I'm sure everything's going to be terrible.
She'll post her results right here.
I don't want anyone to know. I mean, y'all can see me, you know, but like, I'm sure my cholesterol will be high again because I was doing really, really good. And then I got busy.
Yep.
And then everything went down the drain because I don't know how to balance that. Like, I don't know. I take on too much to where I have to cut out my morning walks. And I don't have the energy to like think about what we're going to shop for before we go food shopping. And so we buy like whatever is easy to make. And that's not normally healthy. And I give up on tracking. So you and I both did well at one point 2 years ago, maybe on the Lose It app using that. So, I think we should, well, I know you've been back, but that's what fell off for me. Like I didn't have time to log stuff. So I stopped logging stuff. And then because I'm not keeping track of what I'm eating, I eat whatever the heck I want.
Whatever you want.
As evidenced by last week's cookies.
And let's be honest. I'm still working that off. I'm bloated. Convention food too is just butter and salt. Even if it's like, oh, it's chicken and veggies.
And 4 tablespoons of butter.
Correct.
Per bite.
Uh-huh.
I know. Yeah. So just making the time for tracking food,
and part
planning
of that, though,
food better.
If we plan our year better, where we're working less or spreading the jobs out into the other times, it's kind of like a dominoes, and those should kind of fall into each other like that. Yeah. One begets the other.
Yes.
Big words.
Yes.
One of mine is to work on my vocabulary. One of my non-personal resolutions.
Oh, wait, but you have Duolingo.
I do. I actually have been doing it for 180 days now. So I am very good at Spanish, which is in Spanish. I actually been really focused on like things I need for weddings. So I actually had a wedding where the couple was fine, but the family spoke Spanish. And I was able to drop some Spanish. And they were like, what?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, somewhat related, I will renew my passport this year.
Yeah.
It expires in 2026. So we'll renew the passport and plan my next international trip. Even if that trip can't be in 2025, even if it has to be 2026, like have it planned out before the end of this year.
We should have discussed this because that is exactly the same thing. Yeah, I want to definitely, Japan has been on my list for so long, and, you know, we were ready to go right before the pandemic. And, you know, we had ended up saving that money because we didn't know if we were ever going to work again. And then using that money to survive. So it would be nice that if we actually, again, we have to make a plan, be like, we're doing it, probably 2026 as well, but we can get it on the books in 2025.
Yeah. I have to talk to Ryan. I don't know if it would be, I don't know where it would be. So we were supposed to go to Greece. Like that was our next trip. So that's on the table still, because we had to cancel that trip. So Greece, but then also like all of the cool stuff has happened at Tokyo Disney. And we have other friends trying to go there in the next year or two. And so do we go back to Japan and then also go to the like Shanghai and Hong Kong Disney?
All deadly.
Or do we, the other thing I'd really love to do is like Banff National Park, like, or somewhere out west in the US. So like,
you want to visit my old house that I grew up in?
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyone there?
Yeah. I don't know. Probably.
Can I stay there?
Yeah. Remember the house I got frozen in over the Christmas? I can show you it.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I would like to travel internationally, but that might be like a sub trip. But just getting it on the books, because you know, we can sit here and talk about it all the time, but we need to get it planned. Do it.
Probably a family cruise. We didn't do a cruise this year. And, you know, I'm a sucker for getting those cheap cast member cruises that I can sucker from one of you guys.
Yep.
Dean, where you at? And, you know, we went to Alaska last year, 2023, and that was incredible. I don't know if I'd want to do it again just because we want to do other things, but at the same time, if that opportunity came up, I'd be like, yeah, let's go.
Okay, so speaking of cruises.
Yeah.
UCF, so I'm a UCF alumni. They just sent out a travel, like, I don't know if it's a new program, but they have this whole UCF alumni travel program. And they have trips set up for alumni to go on or for friends and family of alumni. And one of them is a cruise through Germany and Austria to see the Christmas markets.
One of the river cruises? Those are cool.
The first week of December, it's like 8 nights. And you, like, every day you're stopping at a different city to see their Christmas market. And those river cruises
are like, the boats are really nice and they're small. Like every room is like a glass window, like, you know what I mean? And they're small, so they just go up the river, you get out. It's not like a, you know, moving Vegas casino.
Right. Well, and it's not like you have to park the cruise ship in the middle of the ocean and then tender over and then drive an hour. Yeah.
You get to actually walk around as opposed to just getting on the dock, which is not, you know.
Not where you want to be.
Oh, this is what these countries look like. No, it's not.
So I don't think, I don't know that we could swing that for like December of 2025 because I feel like I already have stuff.
Is there a Disney park in Germany?
No.
Oh, well then why are you going?
I want to see the Christmas markets.
Okay.
The Christmas markets. Yeah. I would love to see them. And in my head, Christmas markets always were too close to Christmas for me to like sacrifice that travel time when I could be using that travel time to see my family.
Sure.
But we saw some things this year. A lot of them opened like beginning of November.
What if, hear me out, what if you worked less in December because you were able to work a little bit more in like July?
Look at this all coming together.
Listen, I'm an idea man.
Just spitballing.
Yeah, the blue sky, just think about it. Maybe make a resolution. I don't know. Think about it.
Side topic. It's so distracting for me that they named that new social media program Blue Sky because like every time someone says Blue Sky, I just think about the conference room in the Disney event group building.
And where I come from, not where I come from, but like Disney used to call Blue Sky, like before that conference center, like that was their meetings where it was like, we're having a Blue Sky meeting, which means all good ideas. No, just throw out ideas. There's no bad ideas. Just throw them out.
Right. So I can't separate that in my brain from when people are like, oh yeah, so someone posted on Blue Sky. And I'm like, what?
Also, find us on Blue Sky, at the one with 2 photographers.
I haven't done it yet, but I did do it for my own business.
Yeah, I probably should get any social media just to do it.
So no one else can have it.
Yeah.
I guess we will be on Blue Sky shortly.
Not the conference room, the social media.
That means I have to download the app, huh?
All right, yeah.
Okay. So.
Any other resolutions you got besides being super buff and fit? Instagram models.
Sure.
Influencers.
100%.
Travel influencers.
Trillionaires.
No, there should be no trillionaires.
just
you make 999 million and then you've won capitalism and you get a trophy and then you're done.
Okay. That sounds fair.
All right.
Yeah.
Well.
All right.
Well, I'll see you next year.
Okay.
See you guys next year.
See you next year.
Shout out Elizabeth Davis.
Okay. Hey, Jacob.
Okay, start over. See, that was not psyched at all.
I was just practicing. What are we going to say? Hey, Jacob.
La 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 la.
What are your resolutions for this year?
Well, first off, we'll say Happy New Year.
So, hey, Jacob. Hey, Dawn. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh, God. Right. What is this feeling? So untrue. I lay the moment I laid eyes on you. All right. Have you seen Wicked yet? It's been another week. You said next week you're going to see it.
Not next week, but the week after. We can talk about Wicked when no one cares anymore.
Yeah, so for part 2, we'll be like, and we're talking about part 1 now. Spoiler alert. Fiera becomes a scarecrow, just so you know.